Okay, guys, welcome to another episode of More Listings Mastermind. I'm your host, certified success coach, Robert Weichelt. Every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, we meet right here at morenowlistings.com. And just so we're clear, a lot of us were having a conversation backstage, but we were talking about what's the reason what we do these calls. The More Listings Mastermind, I'll give you a hint. It's taking more listings. That's what we want to do is we want to work with sellers. When we work with sellers, we get more sellers. When we work with sellers, we get more buyers, more investors, and more agents. So we can expand our footprint throughout the United States. Carla and I, the last 2 years, we're traveling the country. Sure, we wanted to see all the beautiful sites, but we got a chance to stop at all the major cities where we have a presence or wanting to get a presence, and had live training, building, team building, and just some phenomenal things were happening. We're growing the team, and I just couldn't be more blessed. And we'll talk about that RV trip. I'm sure we'll interject it into the More Listings Masterminds. But I want to remind you that every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, you can join us live, morenowlistings.com. And we'll have this recorded. It'll be on our YouTube channel, which you'll get a copy of, as well as our Spotify channel. If you're driving down the road on the way to appointments and you want to plug in, Spotify's been very, very, very powerful for us. So with that said, I want to go ahead and I'm a big fan of quotes. If you've ever seen my office, I have Vince Lombardi, Abraham Lincoln. I mean, I've got all those accessories. I mean, it's littered with motivational quotes. And one of my favorite quotes is, the only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. So think about that. Can't have success if you don't put in the work. So with that said, that's Vince Lombardi, and that's one of my absolute favorite quotes. So what I want to do is kind of go into some of the things we're going to talk about. And I've been training, coaching, and mentoring for the last, since 1986. I mean, a lot of you, if you're starting to add that up, that's like, wait a second. Some of you might say, I wasn't even born in 1986. And that's okay. But I've been doing this a long time. And I'm not saying this to be braggadocious. I'm just saying that I've had a chance to help thousands of sellers, learn a few things on transactions, countless agents I've helped success, whether it be the REO market or taking more listings, working with FSBOs, expireds. But at the end of the day, I'm a broker, trainer, mentor, and that's my mission. It's very simple. I'm here to empower others to grow, win, and lead with purpose. That's really kind of what my whole thing's about. So when you plug into these calls on each and every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, that is what you should get. And that is what you will get. We help agents just like you that want more listings. But we understand, why do we want the listings? Because sure, you have more control. I can take 5 listings in the amount of time it takes a buyer agent to work with one buyer. Do the math. But if you get the listing, you get the listings like I talked about. When you take the listing, you get the buyers. When you get the listings, you get investors calling you. Building that database is huge. And of course, you get agents coming to your open houses, reaching out to you and asking you about the property. The dialogue is starting. If you want to grow your businesses, there's nothing better than talking to an agent going, oh my God, where have you been all my life? I love the way you work. I love your energy. I want to collaborate more with you. That fires me up. So at the end of the day, we want to talk about now business. Now business means today. Somebody that wants to sell today, FSBO, expired, pre-foreclosure, we dive into that. But we also want to present ourselves and position ourselves for future business, REO, distressed properties, and that's post-foreclosure. So there's pre-foreclosure, notice of default, notice of trustee. We need to make sure we're helping those folks. They need help. A lot of them want to keep their home. Not all of them can. And the future business is working with the banks, the corporate sellers. Unfortunately, there will be some foreclosures. I like to make this disclosure. I do not want not one person to ever lose their home. Never, 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 never. However, I don't have a lot of control with that. There are going to be people that are either over encumbered, they lose their job. Some things happen. That's just the way it is. And we're starting to see a little bit more of that pre-foreclosure market. So pay attention. I'm not trying to play doom and gloom. I've just experienced 3 default markets previously, the early 90s, the glue stick era. And I could go into that more when we talk about REO. The early 2000s, it was huge. And it's starting to rear its ugly head again. So pay attention to the notice of defaults in your market. That's the last I'll say about it, but I would like to do this. If you want to know about working with now and future business, I encourage you to reach out to me. schedule a time. This goes right to my calendar. It's a one-on-one appointment that you and I can spend a little time, take a look under your hood and see what your business is doing. I'd be more than happy to sit down with you and walk you through that. So with that said, 5 habits. This is so important. I would recommend you take a picture of the screen. I would recommend you write it down. I go old school, guys. I'm old school. I'm pen and paper guy. That's just the way I do it. There you go. Right? My point is, whatever works for you. I find that you write it down and you internalize it and take a photo and review it and go back to it. You're going to do it. 5 habits that will help you grow your real estate business starting today. Number 1, lead generation, no exceptions. You need to block out 90 minutes every day. But Robert, I have a full-time job. Guess what? You have to put time into growing your business. I do a lot of mentoring. I mentor a lot of agents. Most of them have full-time jobs or their previous careers. They're blending in and guiding in and to kind of working their way into the full-time real estate. It's okay. You need to prospect, period. You need to have focused prospecting time. Your friends, your family, sure, but you need to work with the FSBOs, the expires, the pre-foreclosures, and we'll go into that in detail. You need to track and measure your numbers. This game called real estate is a contact sport. We need to be making contacts, whether it's proactive, reaching out to folks, whether it be on the phone, texting, emailing, sending smoke signals, it doesn't matter. Or you're doing what you need to reach out to your database. They need to have a conversation with you. You need to track and measure those numbers, making sure that you're working, but your work is paying off. And you can only fix those things, those in-flight adjustments, once you've actually started tracking and measuring your numbers. For example, you make 100 calls, that's your goal, and you make 10 contacts, and you take 2 listing appointments. That's what I did this week. 2 listing appointments per week is pretty good last time I checked. But you don't know how many calls you need to make or how many contacts you need to make or how many leads you need to get the transactions. So tracking and measuring is huge. Number 3, set appointments daily. If you're not setting appointments daily with a buyer or a seller, that's a red flag. You need to have appointments, even if it's just catching up with people, past clients. You need to have conversations about real estate every single day. Follow-up is key. You've heard this before. Fortune is in the follow-up. 80% of conversions happen in the follow-up. That's big. And the last thing, sharpen your skills. You're already here. You're already listening to this or watching it on YouTube. You're listening to it on Spotify, but you need to sharpen your skills. You need to role play. You need to study scripts. You need to watch the top agent content. You can watch my content. You can go to my YouTube channel and watch all the trainings I've done over the years. Bottom line, you need to plug in. And here's the quote I like to say about that. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Think about that. Write that down and live by it. So anyway, let's move on to, I just want to jog your memory a little bit. Likely to moves are great. Expireds, investors, builders, FSBOs we talked about. The asset managers, that market's coming. Notice of defaults, pay attention to them. Probate, your personal database. So divorce filings, there are so many divorces going on right now. And another thing is senior market from 2025 until 2045, 2065, the next 20 to 40 years, you're going to see a ton of senior business. Lots of senior stuff. We're going to talk about that here when Tim comes on talking about working with trust. And Tim, we're going to get right to you in just one second, my friend. Reason why I like expireds, do you know that 78% of the sellers list with the first agent who calls after expiring? It's no kidding. And usually it's the agent that lists the property for the same price that it was listed at before. You know why it didn't sell, right? It's because it was the price. It's 99% of the time it's price. It doesn't matter if the property is the most beautiful home in the neighborhood or the biggest pile of crap you've ever seen. If it's priced right, it will sell. 78% of sellers. So just calling expires will grow your business starting today. But Robert, I don't know how to get a hold of them. You go to My Plus Leads. That's who I use. You can use Land Voice. You can use any one of them. I don't care. But get something. I recommend My Plus Leads. And I put together a 14-day free trial. Carla will drop it in the chat box. Check it out. Call. There's no obligation. If you want to continue with it, FSBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosures, landlords, that's your place to go. That's where you get the FSBOs who are already trying to sell. By the way, they have their hands up. Expireds, they still want to sell, and it's a big deal as long as you can get them. Don't take overpriced listings. Don't take a listing just to take a listing. That's bad. Don't do that. And the pre-foreclosure, pre and post, okay? They need our expertise. Another tool I want to remind you is you need A cash offers platform. When you're talking to the FSBOs, the expireds, the pre-foreclosures especially, they need some assistance. A lot of times they need an offer right now to stop that foreclosure, or at least pump the brakes on it, right? I recommend you get a cash offer. Carl will drop that in the chat box. For those of you listening on Spotify, it'll be in the remarks. But working with cash offers, having that cash offer is a big deal when having a conversation with the seller. A lot of times, the first thing out of the seller's mouth is, well, I just want a cash offer. We're not doing open houses. I only want a cash offer. Until they see the cash offer, guys. I did a study of the last 72 listings I took. I did a cash offer on every single one of them. Guess how many I closed? Because it's never the best way. Because if you have a better way to sell their home, wouldn't you think you want that? Now, a lot of times on the pre-foreclosures, we can get them a cash offer. They can get it to their bank and say, hey, pump the brakes on this foreclosure while we get the home prepared and ready for a traditional, like an online offers platform, which if you don't have an online offers platform, guys, you're missing the boat. It's speed, efficiency, and maximum profit are the way to get homes sold the highest. That's why of the 72 cash offers I did, not one of them went because the ones that were in pre-foreclosure, we pumped the brakes and give us enough time to do a 14-day. So basically it's 9 days of marketing, 2 days of open houses, and 3 days of offers being submitted transparently online. Full transparency is what we're lacking in this business. And I'm telling you, it gives you the highest and best offer guaranteed every time. If you want to know more about the online offers, you can certainly go to my QR code and I will schedule a time and I'll walk you exactly how it works, how we're getting more FSBOs and expired listings by using this platform by itself. It's all the cash offers and the online offers blend together, and it's a perfect way to grow your business. I mentioned I was on an RV trip around the country, my wife and I. And so many people I can't tell you how many people said, Robert, did you guys retire? Because who in their right mind can sell real estate from their RV in Kentucky? Not many people. They can't do it. My business since March of 2020 became very virtual, like most of you. We had Zoom come up. We started doing a lot of stuff on Zoom because we weren't allowed to go out and do the things we need to do. We needed to overcome and adapt. Now I need to recognize this. We need to be efficient and effective with our business. I would recommend try it. I have agents all over the country doing Zoom listing appointments, and it's fantastic. Can you imagine if you go all the way to a home, say it takes you an hour because of traffic, an hour that you're there and another hour back? That's 3 hours. Can you imagine in 3 minutes, you can have a conversation about price with the seller. They think it's worth $1 million. You know it's worth 800. Meeting over. No need to drive to their home. So if we're doing efficient business, I recommend it. I took 4 listings from the beach in Cabo. Even the beach, yes, you bet. There's a picture of me on the boat. My wife and I were having so much fun with this. Oh my God, I'm taking a listing. I'm talking to a seller. Heck, I have a White Claw. I'm getting ready to go out in the water, but I had to take a listing appointment. My point is, you can do it anywhere, even the beach in Hawaii. So I want to introduce you to efficient, effective ways to grow your business. I want to show you ways to drive traffic. If you're not driving this kind of traffic to your open houses, you might want to think about it. Put in the chat box, and you listening at home, tell me, what's the maximum amount of people you've had at your open house? I hear people say 10, 20, 30. I've had 40 people. Woo! This open house particularly had 884 people to it. We've had some of our team members have over 1,200 people to their open houses. We're averaging between 3 and 400. 3 and 400 groups, by the way. Not buyers, but actual groups. People that it could be a family of 4. That's one. We need to find ways to drive more traffic to the open house because, guys, at the end of the day, nothing else matters except for getting eyes on that home. More eyes equals more offers. You got to track and measure. You got to track and measure. We talked about the 5 things you need to do. Tracking and measuring is right in there. I don't care if you have a CRM and you're getting fancy, like Sisu is awesome. It's free to us on our team. Or you're taking it on your cocktail napkin from last night's happy hour. But track and measure your numbers. How many days are you going to work and commit to? How many hours are you going to prospect? How many sellers are you going to contact? How many seller leads? And so on and so forth. Track and measure so you know you can make your in-flight adjustments. If they're doing a whole bunch of stuff that's not working, don't you think you'd like to know sooner than later? Most people go the whole year and go, wow, that was a terrible year. I wonder what happened. We need to do it weekly. That's WEEK, by the way, not week. Okay. 7 days. You need to track and measure your numbers every 7 days. Get some historical data. And last but definitely not least, we need to celebrate our wins. We need to celebrate our success. We meet every Wednesday. The More Listings Mastermind is right here, 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. That's the podcast that we're talking about. But Fridays, and I encourage you, anybody watching, listening, or have a friend or family that wants to sell more real estate, jump on our coaching call. We do coaching and training, how to take more listings, how to actually dive in and take more listings. This is more of a show of experts. Friday is where we roll up our sleeves and we find out what's going on in your business. So I encourage you to come check it out. And it's the same link, morenowlistings.com. Cool. Hope you guys are fired up by that. If you want to thrive in real estate, I encourage you to schedule a one-on-one appointment. There's my QR code. Let's book a 30-minute strategy session. I want to know what's going on in your business. If you want to grow, take more listings, and grow your business, I encourage you to reach out. So enough of me. Let's get right to our program. And I tell you what, Tim, thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you so much. And let's dive right into it because I know you've got a hard stop. So let's dive in, Tim. Talk about how we can use estate planning to win more listings.
Hey, Robert, I appreciate you having me on, my friend, even though I'm a little disappointed to hear that you drink White Claw, but you know what? I'll get over that.
Oh yeah, I know that's usually my wife's drink of choice. So every now and then I'll swipe one from her. I'm more of a high noon guy.
Okay, there you go. That's not bad. Not bad.
Let's
No,
dive right into it. What do you got, brother? What do you got for us?
so I'll keep this short. So again, my name is Tim Yates. I founded an estate planning firm. Actually, it's more of a technology firm about a decade ago with my wife, Carrie, who is our firm's lead attorney. And we've really been disrupting the estate planning industry by working closely with, real estate professionals such as yourself, Robert. Our goal has always been simple. It's to help, real estate professionals get more listings. In turn, it helps us get more trust done. And it's very, very straightforward. We scratch each other's back on this. If you guys are listening to this, get a pen out. I want you to write down two numbers, actually a couple of numbers, because these are going to be really important for your business to understand. Now, this is California specific we're going to talk about. So if you're in another state, the numbers are very similar, but this is California specific. So here's some numbers to consider. 87.3% of California homeowners do not have a living trust. That means almost nearly 9 out of 10 people in your database, your farm, your past clients need this service. And the truth is that homeowners are desperate for affordable estate planning solutions. And that's what we really created. A standard revocable living trust package here in California, Robert, can run about $2,500 and up. And with our program, we charge less than $1,000, for the same exact thing, and we're very, very proud of that process. So how we've been able to do this is very simple. We've created a free training and designation program for real estate professionals. Think of it as a certified probate specialist designation on steroids times 10. So what this designation allows you to do is to offer estate planning services directly to your clients. It can provide a new income stream for your business, and it'll really help you stand out from your competitors. So not only can you help someone buy or sell a home, you can help them protect it as well. And, that part about this program, Robert, as you know, it's 100% free. And I'll embed a link into the thing. So if anybody wants to learn more, I'll the link, and that's all I've got.
And also, Tim, I have your QR code that goes right to your questionnaire. And let's say that one more time for the agents that maybe they missed it. You're not selling anything. You're presenting an opportunity for them to have estate planning in their more listings tool belt, and they get compensated for each seller that they talk to and they send to you, and it successfully you complete the transaction. It's not even cheaper. That's not even the right word. It's less expensive than anything on the market. And it's an amazing tool for you agents that are listening to this to reach out to your database with another thing to say instead of, do you want to buy, sell, or invest? Hey guys, Robert here. I'm calling because I care and I want to see if you make sure you have your home in a trust. There's some benefits to that, right? And that's the simplest thing it is. It's another tool, Tim, to reach out to your database and you get compensated for it. And I can tell you this, Tim is the best or he wouldn't be on the show. So Tim, any last remarks? Because I know you got a hard stop. Anything else you'd like to say to the audience before we let you go?
No, again, I appreciate you allowing me to share this exciting program with you, Robert, and everyone that's on it. And I just hope more people get a chance to really learn and see what this can do. It's truly a game changer for real estate professionals.
Absolutely. And I've got a lot of folks that are signing up for it every week. So Tim Yates, my friend, estate planning to win more listings. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much, my friend.
All right, guys, we got one more, just more power. We get some. We're bringing some power. Woo. I need everyone to go woo woo. So hey, we've got Woo Kim on, somebody that I've actually just recently met, but it was so impressed. I said, I need John. I haven't even had a chance to start working with him yet. I'm so excited to get started because we're traveling the country. Like I mentioned, it took us 2 weeks to get back. We met about 2 weeks ago. You were on one of our other coaches' calls. I said, well, you and I got to have a conversation. I was blown away, invited him to the show to share what he's doing to grow your business. So I tell you what, how to crush your online presence is something I know for me for sure, but a lot of us have struggles with our online presence. A lot of us are just going, man, I have no idea where to start. I don't know about content. I don't know how to do videos. I don't know how to do all the things that it needs. You will now. So Woo, welcome to the More Listings Mastermind, my friend. How are you?
Thank you, Robert, for having me today. Hello, everybody. My name is Wu. You can go ahead and share my screen if that's okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop my share, brother. You're going to get right here. You are in. Go for it.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me to the show. My goal today is I want to show you how you can crush your online presence. And you may be asking why. Well, as you may know, since COVID, the entire client and real estate agent dynamics shifted to online. Everything happens digitally nowadays. And so, more than ever, it's not a nice to have, it's a must in order to survive in this digital age. So, what I want to do today is I want to take a couple minutes and show you how you can turn your online presence as a lead capturing machine. But first, you're probably wondering if you don't know who I am, you may be asking yourself, why should I listen to you? That's a very fair question. And I want to address something real quick. About the speaker, my name is Woo Kim, and I went from helping engineers to helping real estate agents. And let me explain how that happened. So I'm a former electrical engineer, and there's a picture of young Woo. And when I was in college, I led a group of engineers. It's called EDC, like Engineering Design Club, and I taught engineers how to engineer stuff. And then I realized, well, I don't want to spend the rest of my life on a desk as an engineer. It just didn't sound appealing to me. So I started a company called linkme.co. For those of you that don't know what it is, it's a digital business card platform designed for realtors. Over the years, I helped over 3,000 real estate agents with their digital business card. And that's when I noticed a big problem with real estate agents' online presence. Remember this digital business card? An agent's digital business card has a couple things. Number one is their Google page. Number two is their branding, their website, their reviews, their socials, their bio. And that is called your online presence. This means I got to, number one, analyze thousands of realtors' online presence over the years, show for OP, and learn what good and bad OP looks like, online presence. And number three, help agents fix their online stuff. And that's something that I personally have gotten really good at. And over the last few years, I drove and flew around the country teaching agents how to do this stuff, helping agents fix their online stuff. And that's exactly how I went from helping engineers to helping real estate agents. All right, enough about me. One last thing. Because so many people wanted our help, and my team grew to one person, single operator, to 9 people in a span of 2 years. And enough about me. With that said, let's get down to business. I'm going to show you how you can turn your online presence as a lead generating machine. So, with that, I'm going to share a quote. NAR actually did consumer studies on this, and they found over 90% of potential clients looked up their agent before reaching out to them. And it makes sense. I would do the same thing. So, here are three most common mistakes that I see agents are making online. Number one, Google visibility. Can people even find you If they go to Google and they look up Sherry Joan Realtor or your first name, your last name Realtor, can people even find you? Or is there another agent with the same name that pops up from a different brokerage? And number two is social proof. If they can find you, does your profile, like your online presence, actually build trust? In other words, do you have recent five-star reviews? It's like when we look at sushi restaurants near me, consumers look at their reviews, their website, and their menu. Client and consumers do the same thing to us, our real estate agents and service-based businesses. We gotta have recent reviews. We gotta be active on Instagram. We gotta be active on YouTube. Lastly, is your branding. In other words, do you look like a different person or the same person on each platform? So many times, here's what we see. We look at an agent, we look at their online presence. They have a different picture on each platform. A picture that's updated on Google, a picture that's 10 years old on their website, and picture with their dog on Instagram. And consumers go through your profiles in seconds. So if you have a different picture per platform, what are you doing? You're creating confusion, and confused people don't take action. So, with that, I'm actually going to skip directly to a real life example of what a Google presence looks like for a weak online presence and a strong online presence, starting with a weak online presence for Google. Here I have Googled an actual agent by the name of Joyce Beckman. When I Google her name, you can do this too if you're listening to this. If you look up Joyce Beckman Realtor, I see these three links that pop up. Link number one that shows up is a generic profile page from Realtor.com. Every agent I know virtually has a Realtor.com profile. The second link that pops up is her LinkedIn. Every professional nowadays has a LinkedIn, nothing too special there. And the last link that I see is some US phone books website that has nothing to do with real estate. So those are the total of three links that pop up. Unfortunately, this is what a lot of agents look like when clients Google their name. It's just not that impressive. With that, I'm going to give it a sad face. Sad face. And now, Evelyn T. Realtor is somebody that a client of ours, someone that we use as a great who has nailed her online presence. So if I Google Evelyn T. Realtor, the first thing that I see is her Google business profile on the right hand side. If you're listening to this and if you don't have a Google business profile, you need to make it today. There's four reasons why you need a Google business profile. Number one, you get to put your picture, clients researching your name, your first name, your last name, realtor on Google already know what you look like. So we need to immediately confirm or verify what we look like next to our name. Google business profile lets you put your picture, so your picture shows up first. That's number one. Number two, if you have a Google page, you get to be on Google Maps. That means people can literally drive to you or to your office. Number three, you get to put what you do, what your name is, and why people should work with you. So, for example, in this case, if we look at it, it's Evelyn T, Mission be a realtor, 300 plus families served across OC. Lastly, number four is we get to collect reviews for free. This particular agent has 94 five-star reviews on her Google business profile. If I'm her client, if I'm a consumer and I just Google their name, if I look at her Google business profile with her picture, her niche, her Google business page, and her reviews, I don't need to look at anything else. I'm already sold. She looks like she can sell my homes. That's the idea. But it gets even better. If we look at the left-hand side of her Google, we see 81 five stars on Zillow, 3 5 stars on Realtor.com, 13 5 stars on Yelp. So if you are a client, or let's just say you're a seller and you get two agents referred to you, and you Google their agent, Google the agents that you get referred to. First agent you Google has no reviews, no picture, no phone number, no website, no nothing. The second agent you Google has a bunch of reviews, has a professional headshot, professional Google business profile, her website, and her social medias pop up. And the question that you want to ask yourself is, if this is what I see, which agent would I call first? And for most people, it's the one with a lot of reviews, one with a website, one with a high professional headshot, and everything else. Exactly. So I would like to ask this question to everybody that's listening to this call right now. That is, how many people do you think will search your name in the next 30 days? For industry average, for a producing agent, that number is about seven. That means on average, about seven people search your name per month. Jane Smith Realtor. And the bottom line is when clients Google you, what do they see? I'm going to use an example of David Borja. He's one of our clients, David Borja Realtor. When I Google David Borja Realtor, I see a lot of reviews just screaming at my name. I see his picture, I see his website. And this is what clients do too. They ask AI about you. If I ask ChatGPT, is David Borja with Keller Williams a good agent? What does GPT say? Which in this case for David Borja, GPT says, my take, is he a good realtor? Yes. If I were you, I would feel comfortable interviewing him or getting a consultation. So as a consumer who's researching David Borja and I see this, I feel pretty good about talking with David. And so the big question here is, does what your clients see represent you the way you want to be represented? For David, I think the answer is yes, because his Google page looks good and ChatGPT says David is a good realtor. Or is your online presence hurting you? Huh. What do I mean by that? Well, for the agent Joyce Beckman, when we Googled her name, we didn't find a lot of information. There's no reviews, no website, no nothing. And when I asked ChatGPT about Joyce Beckman, I asked, is Joyce Beckman in Half Moon Bay a good realtor? Here's what GPT says. What I didn't find a lot of detailed recent reviews. Huh. And then it shows me a big warning sign and says things to check slash confirm. GPT then says, if I were you, you'll want to ask referrals or past clients to hear firsthand experience about working with her. Wow. So as a consumer who's researching this agent, if I see this by ChatGPT, I'm not feeling so confident about calling her. So again, does what your clients see represent you the way you want to be represented? If the answer is a yes, or if the answer is a yo, the bottom line either way is clients Google you before they call you. And if you don't look legit online, you're losing business before you even know it, which is exactly why we built a process to help you look legit online for completely free. So here's how we can help you. Anybody that's watching this or listening to this, pay attention. My team will personally audit your online presence and show you exactly what you need to fix. That means we're going to be reviewing your Google presence, your website, your social media, and your branding. We're going to take screenshots of what's working and what's not working and what you need to fix and give you personalized feedback to elevate your online presence for completely free, no strings attached. So if you would like that, those of you watching this, you can scan this QR code. Those of you listening to this, type in linkme.co. That's link with a Y, Lynk, me, M-E, linkme.co, C-O, linkme.co, and you can get your online presence audit there. So that's all I got for you guys. I hope I made it real as to why we need to have a solid online presence when clients Google our name or ask ChatGPT or any other AI platforms about us. So with that said, thanks for having me, guys. Let's rock and roll.
You know what? I tell you what, I hope you have a few minutes because I have a couple of questions. And I tell you what, my wife and I are having a chat, but just a private chat about what you're doing. And we're like, oh my God, it's even better than the last time we talked. I'm like, wait a second, this is even better. And I was talking to my lender, Richie, who you've helped Richie Sorensen with his information. So I know that Richie can't wait to give you a huge testimonial on how well you've done for him. And because I didn't know you guys were working together until he chatted me privately and told me. So Richie, nice, thanks for being on. Well, we're going to give you guys some Richie Sorensen here in just a moment. But Richie, tell us about your experience working with Woo Woo. I can't say his name without getting excited.
Woo is a godsend. So when it comes to technology, and where I get a lot of compliments is just how he makes you look good. And I use his Link Me Smart Card to pass out. I think that's the biggest thing. It's just the branding that he does for you is second to none. So I can't attest to him enough. He's very, very talented.
Well, look at that. Look at that testimonial. Didn't even know it was there. Who has questions for Woo? Because I do. I have a couple things which I learned is when you have your Google page, your business page, having the right information, that's key. You can go in there, go to your business profile and update, make sure that you have for instance, that one gentleman, that one realtor had probate and divorce, because that's what he focuses in. If you work with for sale by owners, expireds, it's a good idea to let people know. So you're not only the one reaching out, but you're also getting people researching you. And if you've ever done anything in your business life, I think it's the best thing to do is chat GPT yourself. And more importantly, is my name a good realtor in San Diego or whatever, and really get a good online presence, at least an idea of what's going on. I think those are some really free nuggets you just got, but I certainly recommend jumping on that QR code, getting some time with Woo, and really diving in. Any questions we can give for Woo before we get into our mortgage minute? Woo, what I'd like to do is, was there anything else you'd like to add before we go to our mortgage minute, my friend? Because I tell you, you hit it out of the park.
No, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. Yeah, there's one thing I forgot to say. I
Yeah.
need you to set this up today. It's called Google Alerts. So the reason why I got to know what the average number of searches of producing agents get per month is because I got to saw the data on Google Alerts. So write this one down, Google Alerts with an S at the end. Set up Google Alerts under your name. So whenever somebody searches Jane Smith Realtor and your name is Jane Smith, Google will actually notify you that you got searched. And our job as a producing agent is to make that number go up month after month by doing more prospecting. So I hope that helps. Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. With that said, let's rock and roll, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Woo-hoo. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's get into the one last piece of business here, because I think this is important. We need to make sure that we're always updating our information with our clients. We need to make sure that we're doing all the good stuff. So with that said, we're so excited. I love introducing my lender, and he's my lender. He's the best lender I've ever worked with. And I got to tell you, this is nothing but a glowing review. He helped my son get his first home. He helped our daughter get her first home with her husband, and in Kentucky, which we just left there. And he's helped many other clients, but those two, don't you think if they do a good job for my family, that's important. So feel confident using Richie. So Richie, I love when you get on. You have such great energy, and it's just so much fun working with you. Give the audience the mortgage minute, Richie.
So for the first time this year, I'm sure you guys heard there on the 17th, the Fed cut their rate by a quarter. I think what's important there is the mortgage market already baked that in. So going into September 17th, mortgage rates had already improved. And then since that rate cut, believe it or not, they've actually gotten slightly worse. And here's why. It's important to understand this, they're still forward looking. So if you think about it, they're still wanting their inflation to come down, but as you cut rates, could that push inflation up? They're trying to do this teeter-totter. So out of the 19 Fed officials, they all put out a dot plot saying what's going to happen over these next few months through the end of the year. What do we expect? More rate cuts, rate hikes? What are they expecting? 7 of them voted no additional cuts this year. 1 voted for, believe it or not, a rate hike. And 9 voted for 2 more cuts, and 1 is actually calling for 5 more rate cuts. So it's kind of funny to see the Fed is really split. What I believe, what we should be taking to market is rates should steadily come down into next year. I'll stick my neck out and say I believe there's going to be 2 more quarter rate cuts through the end of this year, and you'll see it happen. Mortgage rates will slightly improve before those rate cuts come out. So like for Robert, for your son and daughter, hopefully here we'll be refining them, but it's important to note that we're already seeing an uptick in applications. People heard about the rate cuts. They're starting to come to market. So this is going to slowly switch. And it's good to have a lender that understands what kind of market we're in. Because right now we're setting them up like, hey, maybe you can ask for some seller credits, but that's going to switch. And you don't want a lender to put your offer at a disadvantage by not understanding what the current market is. So that is the mortgage world update this week.
I love it. And Richie, you're always so quick to get things out, get things done. We do a lot of open houses. We take a lot of listings, and we have a lot of traffic to our properties. So thank you for being there, and all the marketing and the open house marketing and online presence, the social media marketing that you give us is just phenomenal. From door knocking the neighbors to get more folks in the door, to putting a digital presence out there with our QR codes and our digital flyers. And it's just fantastic. So more than anything else, I encourage you to reach out to Richie. There's this QR code. Schedule the time. Get with them. Find out what's happening in the world of mortgage. Sure, I bet everybody, if you're any kind of realtor, unless you started last week, you've got a relationship in the lending space. I would recommend that you reach out to Richie and at least get a backup. Because here's what happens. Starters go down and you need to have a backup. You don't want to be scrambling for a lender. So I recommend you reach out to Richie, have a conversation with him. You won't regret it. So Richie, thank you so much, my friend, and my love to that beautiful family of yours. You enjoy Coeur d'Alene, my friend. We're going to finish up here. Anything else, Richie, to say before we get on?
That's it, Robert. I always appreciate your kind words to me. I think it means a lot. As you know, as you stated, I have a young family. I have 2 daughters that look up to me to provide. So I do not take this lightly. I can guarantee you no one's going to go sick right now, but it's going to take a lot more than that to keep me down. I will keep showing up and fighting, not only to make you look good, give your clients that white glove experience. I feel like that's what's missing these days. These clients aren't feeling that they're lost and like, what do I do? And it's so sad because I think from the mortgage world, we could be making it a lot clearer for this. Robert, you know this. I want to just say it for everyone here. If I'm ever not the best lender you met, Robert knows my dad. He's my VP, and at 33, a health hero. So he'll just tell him.
I was just going to bring that up. Yes, Richie, I've known Richie a long time, but I'm very good friends with his father. And but I tell you what, he is a chip off the old block for sure, because Chris, his father, is the most knowledgeable lender out there. So I tell you what, you've got a great teacher. So Richie, thanks for jumping on. As always, I appreciate you. And I want to thank everybody else for jumping on today. We were dark for 2 weeks. We were driving home from Kentucky. And it's just a little difficult to pull over on the side of the road sometimes and bust out the old Starlink. I've done it plenty of times, but we took these last 2 weeks and just really enjoyed the ride home. It was sad leaving our daughter and her wonderful husband and his mother. We spent the summer in Kentucky. It was absolutely beautiful. We will be buying a house there. We're either going to build or buy. We're not sure yet, but we're getting a home there. But we took the 2 weeks. We went through the Rocky Mountains. We went into Ohio. We went into Indianapolis. We stayed at Walmart parking lots. We stayed at Cracker Barrel parking lots. We stayed at a couple KOAs. We went through the Rocky Mountains. I didn't think we were ever going to get out of there. And we overheated a couple times. We got the brakes on fire almost. It was awesome. But we took the last 2 weeks and we reflected. And I have more energy right now. And I know this energy that I have is going to lead me powerfully closing out 2025. And I encourage you to unplug every now and then. We don't need to work 24/7. We need to work smarter, not harder. So I want to recommend you reach out to me. If you want to take a look under the hood of your business, I encourage you to reach out to me. Let's book a 30-minute strategy session. I get fired up talking to realtors, talking to lenders, talking to escrow. I love talking to real estate folks about their business. I want to help you grow your business, and I encourage you to reach out. I'm not selling anything. I just want to make sure that we're all doing the things we know we need to do. So with that said, I appreciate you jumping on the More Listings Mastermind every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Go to morenowlistings.com. You guys are awesome and have a great day.